The boardroom at Pinnacle Industries was infused with the scent of aged leather and stale money. I lingered in the doorway, observing the executives as they took their places around the gleaming mahogany table like peacocks vying for dominance. In the corner, the broken chair with the malfunctioning wheel and torn cushion sat nearly hidden in the shadows. "Sit where they can see you," Vincent Palmer, the VP of Operations, said without glancing up from his phone. He gestured vaguely toward the damaged seat. "Maybe next quarter, you'll get a real one." I didn't correct him. For 6 months, I'd let them believe I was just another intern fetching coffee and making copies, all while secretly studying the company from within. Today was supposed to be my last day pretending. "Natalie, while you're up, grab me a coffee," Director of Marketing Sandra Chin ordered. "Oat milk, 2 sugars, and see if there are any of those croissants left from the executive breakfast." Of course, I responded quietly, though that breakfast had been charged to my personal card after their usual caterer bailed. They never questioned how an intern could afford a $500 spread. I rolled the broken chair to the corner, its squeaky wheel echoing my relegation to the sidelines. Around the table, the true players settled into their leather thrones. CEO Marcus Webb, CFO David Kim, and the various VPs and directors who'd spent months treating me like furniture, present but insignificant. "Let's get down to business," Marcus announced, his voice commanding, as if he'd never been challenged. "Regarding the Tech Corp situation, rumors of a hostile takeover, rest assured, Pinnacle is secure." I fought back a smirk. Secure. He had no idea that every share held by allies had been quietly snapped up by shell companies over the past 3 months. "Shell companies?" David chimed in, shuffling papers. "The mysterious buyer remains anonymous, but our lawyers believe we can block any attempt at acquisition." Vincent snorted. "Whoever they are, they're fools. Paying premium prices for shares? They'll bankrupt themselves before they get control." Sandra nodded. "Probably some new tech millionaire thinking business is just a game. They'll learn." I was learning, all right, that the executives, so wrapped up in their own importance, hadn't noticed the intern who stayed late, who had access to everything, their private conversations, every questionable deal, every employee they'd screwed over, all in the name of profit. Marcus continued, "I want to accelerate our plans to acquire Tech Corp while this mysterious buyer is distracted. They're vulnerable." One of the newer directors hesitated. "Tech Corp's employees have a clause. They get golden parachutes if the company's sold. It'll be costly to bypass that." Vincent cut in. "Then we gut it before the sale. Fire everyone for cause, strip the assets, and buy the shell." "Simple," Sandra agreed. "Exactly. That's why Vincent's being groomed for CEO." I shifted in my broken chair, its squeak drawing irritated glances. They had no idea I'd already acquired Tech Corp through a subsidiary. Their plan to destroy hundreds of careers was sealing their downfall. My phone buzzed. A message from James, my head of security. "Team in position. FBI agent Reynolds is in the lobby. Right on schedule." "Natalie," Marcus called out, "where's that coffee? And why are you even in this meeting?" "This is for senior staff only." Holding up my laptop, I replied, "I was told to take notes." He chuckled. "Notes? What could a mere intern possibly understand about this? It's complex business, not some college project." "I'll do my best," I said softly. Vincent leaned back, smirking. "Let her stay. It's good for interns to see how real business is done. Maybe she'll learn that success involves tough decisions, like shutting down entire companies." I asked innocently, "You mean firing people?" They all laughed. "Exactly," Vincent said. "Business isn't charity. It's war, and we're the generals." Suddenly, the door swung open. A tall figure stood in the doorway, FBI Special Agent Reynolds. His badge was visible, his expression neutral. Behind him, 2 more agents waited silently. The room froze. "Sorry," Marcus said carefully. "Did you say Blackwood?" "There's no one here by that name," Agent Reynolds clarified, eyes locking onto me. "Miss Blackwood, we need to speak about the documentation you provided regarding financial irregularities at Pinnacle Industries." Heads turned toward me. I straightened in my squeaky chair. "That's the intern," Sandra blurted. "No," I corrected, standing. "That's the owner, now. I checked my phone 47 minutes ago, and the final share purchase cleared." Pinnacle Industries is now a wholly owned subsidiary of Blackwood Enterprises. Marcus shot to his feet. Impossible. You're just an intern. You fetch coffee, make copies. I make strategic acquisitions, I countered. The coffee was just a cover while I gathered evidence of your fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy to manipulate stock prices. Agent Reynolds stepped forward. Mr. Webb, Mr. Palmer, Miss Chun, Mr. Kim, please come with us. You have the right to remain silent. Vincent shouted. This is insane. She's nobody, just the woman in the broken chair. I choose to sit in it, I said quietly. Do you know why I kept that broken chair? My father sat in it 20 years ago when he brought an invention that could have revolutionized this industry. You, Marcus, dismissed his ideas, called inventors like him dime a dozen. Then you stole his patent through legal loopholes and made billions. Marcus's face paled. Thomas Blackwood was your father, I said softly. His eyes widened. Was I right? I asked. He died thinking he was a failure, believing your lies that his work meant nothing. I spent 10 years building my empire just to buy this company, to sit in his chair and watch you fall. Sandra's voice trembled with accusation. You manipulated us. I listened and corrected her every cruel comment about the uselessness of a turn. Every illegal scheme, every illegal shortcut, every guilty admission I had overheard, all in silence, gathering evidence. David frantically typed on his phone. Our lawyers have been informed, I interrupted, that Blackwood Enterprises is now their client. The room descended into stunned silence, the weight of the revelation settling over everyone. I bought the company last week. The board members? They won't accept it, Marcus declared. What board? I asked. I own every share now. I am the board, though I doubt you'll be worrying about corporate governance where you're headed. Agent Reynolds finished reading their rights as his team began escorting them out. Vincent turned back at the doorway, his face twisted with fury. You think you've won? You think destroying us makes you better? I spoke softly. No, I think rebuilding what you've torn apart might. Starting with rehiring every employee you've wrongfully dismissed, restoring every pension you've raided, and compensating every small business you crushed, that will bankrupt the company. But the company's worth $8.3 billion, I added. I think we can afford to be decent. As the FBI led them away, I found myself alone in the boardroom, just me and the broken chair. I wheeled it to the head of the table, settling into the seat Marcus once ruled through fear and greed. The squeak of the wheel echoed in the empty space. Hey, Dad, I whispered into the silence. Told you I'd fix it. My phone buzzed. Rebecca Martinez, my CFO at Blackwood Enterprises. Natalie, the press has caught wind of the FBI raid. What's our statement? I looked around the room. Portraits of past CEOs who built their empires on others' failures, surrounded by extravagance while their workers earned minimum wage. Tell them the truth, I said. Pinnacle Industries is under new management. We're starting a full audit, and I want an all-hands meeting Monday. What's the agenda? Restoration, I replied. We're going to rebuild this company into what it should have been, what my father envisioned before they stole it from him. I smiled at the broken chair. It goes in my office now, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one everyone overlooks. As I ended the call, I reflected on the last 6 months, the indignities I'd endured, fetching coffee for the very people who destroyed my family, taking notes on their crimes while they mocked my appearance, sitting in that broken chair while they plotted to ruin more lives. All worth it. Every bit of it. I reached for my personal phone and scrolled to a contact I hadn't called in years. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood, my sister, now a teacher honoring our father's legacy. Lizzie, it's done. We got them. Her sob of relief said everything. What happens now? She asked. Now we rebuild, I said. Every patent they stole will be honored. Every inventor they cheated will be compensated. Every dream they crushed will be resurrected. Dad would be proud. I ran my hand over the worn fabric of the broken chair. I hope so, I whispered. Suddenly, the door opened and a young man looked in nervously. Miss Blackwood, I'm James from IT. We were told you're the new owner. That's right, I replied. He hesitated. The staff's pretty scared about their jobs, about what's happening. No one's telling us anything. I stood, leaving the broken chair at the head of the table where it belonged. Spread the word, I told him. No one's losing their job. In fact, we're bringing back everyone who was unfairly terminated. And that executive breakfast budget? It's going to employee lunches from now on. His eyes widened. You're the intern, the one who bought us donuts last month when the coffee machine broke. Guilty, I nodded. But why pretend? Because the best way to understand a company isn't from the boardroom, I said. It's from the broken chair. That's where you see who people really are. He nodded slowly. Miss Blackwood, he said. That chair, people have been asking to replace it for 5 years. It stays, I said firmly. But tell maintenance to fix the wheel. Some things should be preserved, just improved. As James left to spread the news, I took one last look around the room. Tomorrow, everything would change. The portraits would come down, replaced by photos of the people who built this company. The employee breakfast would become a proper lunch. The broken chair would be fixed but kept, symbolic of resilience and the power of overlooked strength. And somewhere, maybe Thomas Blackwood would understand, his daughter had done what he couldn't, turned stolen greatness into something worthy again. My phone buzzed with another call, the Wall Street Journal demanding a statement about the decade's most audacious corporate takeover. I let it ring. The statements could wait. The interviews could wait. The lawsuits and challenges, they could wait. Right now, I had a company to heal, starting with fixing that squeaky wheel, but leaving the chair exactly where it belonged, at the head of a table. Because sometimes, even broken things have power if someone dares to sit in them. Thanks, Dad, I whispered once more, then got to work. The intern was gone. The owner had work to do. And Pinnacle Industries would never be the same.